Hello, my name is Catherine Cruz, and this is my final update on my project, my final reflection. So, as this semester is coming to a close, I'm reminded of the vast scope of advocacy work. My project was very broad in the beginning. I truly thought that I would solve the problem 100%. However, I found that through servant leadership, it wasn't about solving it, it was about listening and understanding what the actual problem was. So, in looking towards the future, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. Through my survey of parents and talking with educators, interviewing Amy, I found that there was a disconnect between both groups of people. Moving forward, I want to establish a standard of communication between families and educators. So, this was my ultimate goal, and it was not solved in 6 weeks, but I feel like I have made some progress. I was able to start this conversation at Crescent Harbor Elementary School, and I'm hoping that as my child enters public school and as I become an educator, I can continue to use this project and this class as a means to influence positive change. I want to continuously discuss and improve how we talk to families and how we include them in their child's educational process. I wish that I had been able to visit the school and even talk to the principal, because initially I was looking at like a district-wide standard of communication, but my scope narrowed a lot. I think this was really important to kind of get to the root of what the community needed. We have 7 elementary schools in my community, so even though we're a smaller community, we have a lot of schools, and each school has a different demographic. So at the end of it, I ended up just focusing on Crescent Harbor Elementary School because that's where I talk to and know the most educators. So I also wish that I had gotten to talk to the head of communications and outreach. They never got back to my email, but I think it would have been really beneficial for both of us just to see what they're doing for the district. But because I missed this interaction, I focused more on one school, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's just something that was different than what I was expecting. This time is unprecedented for many people, and I understand why my project wasn't a huge priority, especially since I don't have really any district ties to talk to this person. So I also believe that the conversation I had with Amy Watson was a great opportunity to discuss what current issues are and how she and her team at Crescent Harbor can best feel supported. And like I said, even though I did not solve the problem, I feel that an impact was made, not only with the parents I surveyed or the educators I talked to, but with myself. Um, when I teach, I will think about how best to include parents in instruction, how I can talk about this with my team and the district. Technology is a great way of doing this, but in the community that I will be serving, technology has its issues. We next to like a lot of our schools, we have a large population of low income families, and living on a windy island, we also have power outages a lot. So relying on technology as a means of communication with family just isn't it shouldn't be the number one thing that we rely on. Understanding the disparities between families and the reasoning why they may not be inclined to connect with educators honestly changed my outlook on teaching. Education is not accessible for everyone, unfortunately, but we as educators have the tools to reach out and connect, build relationships with families and their learners. This work is so important to society's success as a whole, and building relationships is a cornerstone of effective public education. Thank you so much. I've learned so much through this project, so much through this class. I will carry it with me always.